What is vertebral subluxation? Vertebral subluxation is a consequence, and this is my definition, the Donnie Epstein definition of vertebral subluxation. It was posted in the Council for Chiropractic Practice guidelines. The vertebral subluxation is a consequence to a neurological response to the physical, emotional, environmental stress. The neurological response may precipitate or be precipitated by misalignment between articulations of the spinal column or its immediate weight-bearing components of the axial skeleton. The integrity of the nervous system is diminished. As changes occur in the morphology, the oscillation or tension of the tissues occupying the neural canal or the intervertebral foramina, and I would add, and sustained by a loss of spinal and neural integrity. So that is the concept of vertebral subluxation is. Now, what does network have to do with that? Several years ago, I decided the objective of network was not going to be to correct a subluxation. And why? Because since there really is clinically far from a unified approach to when is a subluxation, when is it adjusted, and when is it adjusted, I thought I would base my systems based upon mechanisms that we can demonstrate, we can understand, we can define, and we can be sure of the outcomes for. So instead of looking to correct a subluxation, I said, well, what would allow that subluxation to exist in the condensed experience with the altered spinal cord tension? And I realized, I looked at the model there of spinal neural integrity, and I looked at the model of the different subsystems of the spine that maintain spinal integrity. So said differently, if the elements that maintain spinal neural integrity cannot function effectively, they cannot self-regulate subluxations, which would be a temporary response. Instead, the energy and the information is put on hold, and indeed a vertebral subluxation occurs. Just like disease is a result of the body dropping to a low level of organization as an intellectual adaptation of innate, the vertebral subluxation is the linkage between malfunction of the body, a lowered organizational state, sickness and illness, and the ability to eventually have access to information energy and use energy that's been withheld and locked up as defense as actually a launching pad to be able to gather the information, gather the energy that's been not available, and turn defense into growth, and to be able to turn wounds into gifts. In this diagram, network spinal analysis applications, illness to wellness, we take a look at the concept of disease care, health care, and wellness care. You take a look in disease care, the doctor totally assesses things. In health care, and wellness care, which incorporates different levels of reorganizational healing, the doctor and practice member or patient together cooperate in some degree in what's going on and in the program of care. In the wellness care, the practice member or client has to be a much more self-assessing, which means they must use the upper mental intelligence more effectively in the absence of stress physiology so they can really assess themselves and make regulatory changes in their life more. So in the blue diagram under disease and healthcare, we see chiropractic. You have condition-based chiropractic, where chiropractors are using their chiropractic care or manipulative therapy or adjustments or as a means of helping a person remove or reduce a condition. Then there's subluxation-based chiropractic, which all is on the border between the doctor assesses a subluxation and it's going to affect a condition or disease, and it's there just to enhance the body by removing or reducing an impediment to health and well-being. The person can increase his health potential by producing a new emerging strategy of health in the spine and nervous system. This is where the Epstein model of spinal and neural integrity comes in. The Epstein model of spinal neural integrity is probably one of the greatest developments, according to Patrick and Temple and several other wonderful chiropractic thinkers, in taking a look and saying, regardless of what your system in chiropractic is, if you want this body to be able to self-regulate subluxations, reduce the frequency of them, and to be able to produce constructive elements where information energy that was no longer available is available, we need to assess spinal neural integrity. One, for self-regulation of subluxation in a healthcare model. But if we take that further in network spinal analysis and wellness model, Then the spinal integrity can reach new levels never seen before of energy efficiency and levels of coherency, and that brings the person into a greater level of autonomy and wellness care and fully into full-blown reorganizational healing, where they're able to observe themselves well enough with absence of defense physiology, and the body can create new spinal strategies of self-organization that leads not only to spinal reorganization, but to life reorganization also. So here we go now, at this point, in asking the question, is the spinal subluxation or fixation the cause of the problem? Or is it symptomatic of a challenge in thermodynamic regulation? What does that mean? The inability to effectively merge energy and information. Either it can't assess information because there's not enough available energy, or there's too much energy and not enough organizational wisdom to do something with it. So, what is a subluxation a symptom problem of? It's a symptom of not having enough organizational wisdom or energy to experience the experience or to be able to optimize the gift of the experience. What is the whole idea? Am I looking to correct a subluxation? That was an interesting question. And I remember having a conversation with many great chiropractic leaders at the time and speaking about that. And I said, well, what is the objective to correct subluxation? Is subluxation centric what chiropractic is about? Well, I believe just if you put subluxations at the center of things like disease, you'll get more of them. I believe the reason we want to correct or adjust subluxations, help them self-regulate, is because we want the system to organize at a higher level of effectiveness. So let's go for it in the first place. Let's go for the higher level of effectiveness of information and organizational efficiency. Let's go for the informational system organizational efficiency and allow the spinal applications to create that, and for it to learn to self-regulate its subluxations while it's creating health and wellness and living benefits never consistently seen before in the chiropractic profession or in any healthcare profession. So what are we really looking for? I think the chiropractor is really looking for finding to access the system, the living system, a great gateway through which it can observe itself and remind the resident wisdom that it's greater than it's been expressed, to remind the resident wisdom of a new possibility by allowing it to find energy that's been unavailable before and bound up, and help the energy to organize at another level. And for this way, rather than looking to say where's the subluxation as the center, I'm looking to say where's the spinal gateway, the access point associated with that subluxation that we can utilize to help the energy and information to reorganize and allow the system to bring the structure, perception, and behavior to a new order. And that is called reorganizational healing, and the tool is network spinal analysis.